I'm Barry Shepley, Olympic coach, and this week the World Cup stops in Tiszaujvaros, Hungary. The best in the world have made their way here to this very festive town, and for 1 week each year they pull out all stops as a whole week of festivals, including running, biking, kayaking, and of course it all ends with the World Cup race on Sunday. So we take a look. It'll actually be 2 loops for the swim in this very fast river. The athletes will come out at the end of the second loop, and they then will make their way up a series of stairs into the transition zone and head out for the first 9 kilometers through the windy, small streets. They'll eventually make their way right down into this historic old town, and when they get to the middle of the transition zone at the end of the first loop on the bike, they will be into the madness as a huge crowd consistently comes out. And then they come off the transition zone for the start of their first of 4 laps. Very, very flat on the run course. We anticipate some incredibly fast bike times and some even faster run times. For the first time in 9 years, wetsuits will be worn today, but there, Carrie Lang, without a wetsuit, she showed up without one, and she'll have to swim today. Just a bathing suit, no wetsuit, and that will definitely be a disadvantage, particularly against this woman, Sheila Taormina, who 18 times in her career has been #1 out of the water, but really the day is expected to be a battle between the Australians. Annabelle Luxford, #1 ranked in the world, and 2003 world champion Emma Snowsill from Australia. Andrea Whitcomb, ranked #4 today, coming in, and she is a World Cup winner from Cornerbrook, Newfoundland earlier this year. Christine Pilz from Germany, just coming back from some injuries and showing some great form at the German Championships. You can see how fast the current is already. The athletes come off the pontoon, and they'll have the benefit of the current in their back for the first 500 meters. They'll go straight down in the middle of this river, and predicting how the currents are really can be a benefit. Athletes who get the right current often will be able to get an extra 15 or 20 meters by the turnaround, and that could be significant when you're trying to get out of the water on each other's feet. 36-year-old Sheila Taormina, as she has done so many times in her brilliant triathlon career, leading right now. The 36-year-old in her final season of racing, and as we take a shot from the shore looking down, the athletes are still swimming with the current in their back. When they get to that blue swim buoy on the right side of your screen, they'll make a hard right-hand turn and go right towards the shore. In fact, they have done some work and practice, and they realize the closer they get to shore, the less current that is coming towards them and the more benefit that they will have in terms of coming back towards the dock. And right there, Taormina already going by, as she has opened up about a 3-meter gap on Annabelle Luxford. Sitting on her feet is Emma Snowsill. So the 2 Australians are matching Taormina through this early section of the women's 1,500-meter swim. And right now, continuing to power away in that blue and black wetsuit, Sheila Taormina from the United States of America. And what an amazing career this woman has had. Started off as a swimmer, the 1996 Olympic Games, a gold medal on the 4x200-meter relay. She has gone on to become the world champion in 2004. 2 Olympic Games she has gone in the sport of triathlon, and now at the age of 36, Sheila Taormina looking to move into the sport of modern pentathlon and hoping to make the 2008 Olympic Games team. What an incredible athletic career she has had. And you can see just how close to shore those women are now trying to come, trying to get onto the feet of Sheila Taormina. They'll go right back past the crowd, past the pontoon, and they will have to come up onto a dock. The first athlete to dive back into the water will in fact be the swim team winner. The very silty water here, dark, not easy to see the hands and feet of the athletes as they come near you, and that will be a benefit to the faster swimmers. They're now just approaching the 1,000-meter mark. The athletes will go back in and do a slightly smaller second rectangle when they get back to shore. Wearing #4 here this morning, Sheila Taormina. Annabelle Luxford wearing #1, sitting right on her feet. So the Australian, who had a crash last week and a little bit of shoulder problems, looking to be working very efficiently here, and that is a tribute to the medical team from the Australian Institute of Sport, because they have been traveling with the Australian team over the last 6 weeks and certainly have done a lot of work this week to get Annabelle Luxford ready for this World Cup race after her crash in Hamburg. They're coming getting to the completion of their first 1,000 meters. They'll come back onto the pontoon and have to go back into the water to do a smaller second rectangle. And it's Taormina first up onto the dock. She looks over her shoulder. Annabelle Luxford coming in just behind her. They'll run about 20 meters on the pontoon, dive back into the water, and the first athlete to hit the water, and it will be Taormina. Luxford just behind her, and looks like Emma Snowsill just coming up very quickly behind. And still sitting on Taormina's feet is Annabelle Luxford, as she is powering after the American, and they'll be going around a smaller set of buoys the second time, so the buoys are slightly closer to the pontoon to make the second loop just 500 meters for a total of 1,500 meters of swimming between the two laps. And you can see here at the back of the pack as they're coming around how strong that current is. The athletes are actually being drawn away from the dock because the current is so strong. And watching earlier in the week as athletes were preparing for the race, some of the weaker swimmers were literally staying almost in the same spot, and it doesn't show just how strong that current is, but really it is pulling them back. Two women slightly away, and then we have a group of about 7 coming up very closely behind. First out of the water, Sheila Taormina from the United States of America. They'll have about 15 stairs to run up, and then they'll be on their bikes in the transition zone. Annabelle Luxford coming up just behind her. Fratani from Japan into that group. Annalise Hurd sitting right now into that group as well. As they come into the transition zone, they will get rid of the wetsuits and head off about 9 kilometers to get into town before they'll do 6 loops around a 5-kilometer bike lap in the middle of the very historical town here in Tiszaujvaros. A short run from the exit of the water to the bikes, and here comes Emma Snowsill. She's going to have a fast transition if she wants to catch on with this group.
I'm hoping that there'd be a small group of us coming out of the swim, and we can get away on the bike. And you know, I think it's just a matter of us putting our heads down and like I said, putting that time in on the bike and sort of leaving everyone else guesswork.
The small group that Emma Snowsill has predicted has come together. The only difference, she is not a part of it. Annabelle Luxford right now taking the lead. Just onto her wheel coming up and through includes Sheila Taormina, Christine Piltz, and Annalise Hurd. And this is a very powerful group of 4. You can take a look. Piltz back 10 seconds has gone through Akina Fratani as well as Emma Snowsill, and looking back in 8th place, Maria Rabi, the very young athlete from the Republic of South Africa, having an outstanding swim at just 18 years of age. Number 1 on her helmet, Annabelle Luxford leading. And as we look now back to our chase group, about 35 seconds down, that is Emma Snowsill, Fratani from Japan, Rabi from the Republic of South Africa, and Radova from the Czech Republic. Back up to our lead group now. Christine Piltz from Germany. We have not seen much of her over the last couple of years with injuries, and she is in great form right now, having medaled at the German Championships just weeks ago. The streets here in Tiszaujvaros, many corners, and it gives the athletes an opportunity to put their head down and to get away. If you have about a 20 to 25 second gap on the group behind you, there's a very good chance that they will not be able to see where you are at on the course. Some of the most supportive crowd we have ever seen in the World Cup Series, and these fans have come out for 7 days of events, including bike races, swimming races, running events, and canoe events, concerts in the evening. But it all now comes down to the next few hours as our elite women, part of the final event here in Tiszaujvaros. A group of 4, including Sheila Taormina, Annabelle Luxford, Annalise Hurd, and Christine Piltz, really powering away. And as our chase group now start to try to get together, they are losing time on every pedal stroke as that lead group of 4 working very, very efficiently. And there is Taormina up and powering away. Amazing that this woman has really not focused on the bike this year as she prepares for transitions into modern pentathlon, and yet here she is showing her athletic ability. Back to our chase group right now, and they are down by 45 seconds, and that gap is continuing to increase. Emma Snowsill with some technical problems today on the bike, finding herself not into that lead group, and she certainly would have anticipated being there when the day began. As our lead group start to head back towards the transition zone, this will be the bike preem number 1, 2 bike preems, giving athletes a motivation to get up. And Annalise Hurd up and sprinting as she looks like she has gone by Sheila Taormina for the bike preem here in the end of lap number 2. They have a total of 6 laps on this course, And Annalise Hurd looks to have taken the first of the 2 bike creams here in Tiszaujvaros. Now comes our chase group. Emma Snowsill trying to drive the train now on a group that has lost almost 1 minute in just the first 14 kilometers here in Tiszaujvaros.
Tonight on Survivor Africa.
I'd rather die right now than deal with this pain.
Barbie went down in Africa.
Survivor lives on OLN tonight at 7 and 10 p.m. From the assassins of the jungle and the fiercest fish in the seas to beasts with bad attitudes.
That animal hits you, you're dead.
Find out exactly who's hunting whom.
That's when you could become the Blue Plate Special.
OLN counts down the 25 hardest animals to hunt. Monday at 8, only on OLN.
Be afraid. Be very afraid.
A robot can make a car. But this is how you can make it roar. A chip can control the engine. But this is how you can set it free. A manual says what a car might do. Now discover what it wants to do. Give it the edge. Give it Syntec. No leading oil provides more horsepower. For maximum power, great cars want more than just oil. Give them liquid engineering.
Looking for a mortgage lender who really knows how to win your business? Log on to Ditech.com or call 1-800-DITECH-1. Right now, we're offering a $49 flat fee fixed rate second mortgage. It allows you to borrow up to 100% of your home's value.
Get on the Ditech Home Equity Fast Track today.
Log on to Ditech.com or call 1-800-DITECH-1. You're always a winner with Ditech.com.
Looks like Dave and Brian are on their way to their favorite hunting grounds. They've always been even skill-wise, but this time out Dave is picking up objects a lot faster than Brian. In fact, he's squeezing out shots more precisely than ever. That's because Dave called Clarazan and got what he calls his secret edge, enhanced shooting precision in a matter of weeks. Yes, it's true. Clarazan is the secret jewel of long-range focus and fast, accurate shooting. Call now and get a free 30-day supply. You just pay shipping. Limited supplies available, so act fast. Learn the secret the pros have known for years and improve your accuracy with Clarazan, the leader in eyesight perfection. Clarazan is a once-daily capsule you ingest, so now it's easy to increase long-range accuracy and improve your shooting precision in a matter of weeks. You can gain a distinct advantage. Clarazan can help. Call now and receive a free 30-day supply of Clarazan. You just pay shipping. Limited supplies available, so act fast.
We look back now to a group that is really continuing to lose time. And as our chase group try to get themselves organized, our leaders coming through the transition zone again, and they are averaging about 7 minutes and 40 seconds per lap, so they are very, very consistent in their riding here today. Our chase group right now continuing to lose time. They're 2 minutes and 25 seconds down. And as we take a look back up to our leaders, that is Annabelle Luxford, Christine Pilz from Germany just onto her wheel, Sheila Taramina and Annalise Hurd in that group of 4 continuing to take their 10-second pulls. Our cameraman now pulling back to Emma Snowsill.
I don't know if I'm overthinking my back wheel, but it feels a bit funny.
Suggesting that she's had some bike problems and she's a little bit concerned. The technical aspect of the sport, another issue. And as we look at our split screen here,
Ask the bike mechanic
Sheila Taramina and Emma Snowsill looking at the bike problem before the race began earlier this afternoon. And as we take a look, Emma Snowsill doing her best to just hang on to the back of that bike pack because we know her phenomenal running ability, and if she's able to keep it even within a couple of minutes, she might have a chance. But right now, our lead group of women are coming off the bike, and they are going to have somewhere close to 3 minutes. Annabelle Luxford, Christine Pilz, Annalise Hurd, and Sheila Taramina, the 4 of them just coming off the bikes. They have had a bike of just over 1 hour, 1 minute, so they will be about 38 kilometers per hour. And as they drop the bikes, run to the second boxes to pick up their running shoes, that is Sheila Taramina. Dropping the helmet, shoes on. That is Annabelle Luxford now getting ready to head out, and she is in a fantastic spot as Luxford, who's been on the podium so many times this year, but just not on top of the podium, will find herself in a very unique position, and that is not having to worry at the very beginning of this race anyway about Emma Snowsill. Our two leaders now heading off for the start of their 4-lap, 10-kilometer run. It is very flat, very little tree cover here in the downtown streets as we're through into the heat of the day. Annabelle Luxford taking on some fluid as she now starts to power away, and it'll be an almost 3-minute lead on a chase group that will include Emma Snowsill. Burkova from the Czech Republic into that group. Gollinger into that group as well, and you can see 3 minutes and 1 second, so a significant gap. Carrie Lang, the woman who swam without a wetsuit, back into that group. Marie Rabi, the young teenage athlete from the Republic of South Africa, into that group as well, and they will have a lot of time to make up, but there are now 4 athletes up and out onto the road just past the half-mile mark, and we are now catching back up with Annabelle Luxford, who has already now put a gap on Sheila Taramina, Christine Piltz, and Annalise Hurd. Taramina, who has been working on her 3-kilometer run speed that's now required for the sport of modern pentathlon, is going to have to lengthen that today for the 10-kilometer distance. So Taramina not likely to be able to go after this woman, as Annabelle Luxford pushing away up the lead. Christine Piltz right now in 3rd place, Annalise Hurd in 4th, as this group of 4 are going to try to stay ahead of some very, very fast running athletes, including Emma Snowsill. Luxford, who had almost a year plus out of the sport with injuries, has had an unbelievable 2005. And another woman who's had injuries in her career, Christine Piltz, an elbow injury taking her out of a significant portion of the last 2 years, but the 2-time German national champion really coming back into great form. She has had a podium this year at the German championships and starting to show that she is the Christine Piltz of old. What an incredible year for Annabelle Luxford. 3rd in Hamburg, 2nd in Edmonton, 3rd at the World Cup race in Honolulu, 3rd in Mooloolaba, 2nd in Madrid. Talk about a career, and she's done that in just 1 season, but she has not been able to get on top of the podium this year. A woman who has been on top of the podium many times is Sheila Taramina, as she is winding down her triathlon career and trying to hang on for another podium before she moves on to the sport of modern pentathlon. And Christine Piltz right now trying to run down Sheila Taramina. Both of those athletes will realize that Annabelle Luxford is continuing to run away from them right now.
For the elite, it's a battle to conquer all.
I just feel tired, but I'm gonna keep going. My body would no longer go. I just ruined my race.
For the ages, it's a journey to survive.
I wanted to quit at mile 85, but just getting to the finish to see the girls kept me going.
For every competitor courageous enough, it's the swim, bike, and run of a lifetime. It's the 2005 Ironman Triathlon, all new, Sunday at 3 p.m. Eastern, only on OLN.
Loctite Power Grab grabs instantly, with 9 times higher initial hold than the leading brand, without bracing and without hammering. Loctite Power Grab. Project solved.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love.
A lesson for parents about the power of your cable remote. Yes, you can surf the channels with it. But did you know? The cable remote can help control what your children watch. It's pretty easy. First hit Menu or Settings, then scroll through the on-screen options to set your password. Finally, block the programming by channel or rating, and talk to your children about why certain programs are not for them. set your parental controls. It's easy. For more details on parental controls and tools, go to controlyourtv.org.
Hey, you're done shopping for car insurance?
Yes.
Honey, did they compare this rate to other companies?
No.
How about service?
No.
Hey, think easier. With one call to 1-800-PROGRESSIVE, a licensed professional will help you make the decision that's right for you.
We are the men and women of the United States Army Reserve. We are regular people who share our time serving our country and our communities. Our training makes us stronger as soldiers and as citizens who stand ready.
To find out how you can serve your country in the Army Reserve, call 1-888-624-ARMY for this free DVD and get a free sports watch. Stand ready in the Army Reserve.
The large crowd at the finishing line continuing to cheer on, and they are watching an incredible run right now. Emma Snowsill, who was third out of the water, had a technical bike problem and really showed a lot of courage to stay out there on that bike. And here comes the pass as Christine Pilz is now finding herself just about to move into second place with Sheila Taormina on her right. Pilz, the German, on the left. Taormina, the world champion for 2004 on the right. And right now, those two women are trying to hang on for podiums. Annabelle Luxford about 40 seconds up. And here comes a woman trying to chase them all down. Emma Snowsill, look at that incredible running ability. She has run 33 minutes and change on at least 3 or 4 occasions this year off the bike. The winner of the World Cup race in Edmonton is really now coming after them as she has narrowed that 3-minute gap. Right now, she is less than 40 seconds behind Sheila Taormina. And Annabelle Luxford, however, continues to run at just about the same pace right now as Emma Snowsill. So Annabelle Luxford is in a very unique position, but Sheila Taormina's podium right now is starting to evaporate as Christine Pilz now starting to put a gap on Taormina, and Emma Snowsill coming up from behind. So Taormina is in a very vulnerable spot now with less than 3 kilometers to go. Very little tree cover here as the athletes are out on the hottest part of the course. Snowsill now continuing to power as she is really up on the toes, realizing that she can see Sheila Taormina not too far up in the distance. Snowsill, the 2003 world champion, now has made up almost 2 minutes, and she is closing in on Sheila Taormina. But the victory of the day is going to belong to Annabelle Luxford as she has put together the absolutely perfect combination. Out of the water onto the feet of Sheila Taormina. Part of that small, very efficient group of 4 out onto the bike course. And now as she comes over the last 50 meters, it will be her first podium since Gamagori as Annabelle Luxford, the 23-year-old, now making her way towards the finishing line, and she is going to have an incredible time. 1:55:13, 34 minutes, 31 seconds for her 10-kilometer run. That is a lethal combination as Annabelle Luxford, who was down with a crash just a week ago in Hamburg, now gets to celebrate with this very, very enjoyable crowd here in Tiszaujvaros. And a woman who really started the season off not knowing where her fitness was going to be at all. Here she comes, Christine Pilz. This will be one of her first podiums of her career and a silver medal here today. She's been able to get herself into that lead group on the bike. And Christine Pilz will make her way towards the finishing line as the 30-year-old with 7 top 10 finishes will add her first podium in World Cup racing. Pilz, second here on the day, and really now the battle is going to be for third. Sheila Taormina trying to hang on, and it looks like she is going to hang on as the American 36-year-old with just 2 races left in her career is going to add another podium. Taormina in third, Pilz in second, and Annabelle Luxford in first, and there she is. Emma Snowsill just oh so close with an incredible finishing run, 33:44 to come in 4th place.
I'm stoked with today's performance. I've had consistent racing, but that top place on the podium has been a little elusive, so I'm glad to get there.
Of course, it's very nice. After my 2 years of injuries, right before the Olympics, I broke my elbow, so I couldn't start. that it would be turned out as second. I didn't expect, but now I'm really happy because it's my best result ever.
It was such a neat day. The course was fun. Hats off to the town of Tiszaujvaros because they have taken this little town and made one heck of a course.
Well, as we take a look at the crowd, and they continue to stick around because the men are up on deck. It was Annabelle Luxford from Australia finally claiming a World Cup victory this year after oh so many times on the podium.